is going through tough times, and we all need to laugh. Come June, if I decide to run, you'll have the great pleasure of voting for the man that will easily go down as the greatest president in the history of the United States. Me, Donald John Trump.
Well, that didn't age well, did it?
Logical response.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Got another episode of Logical Response. This is kind of a different episode, kind of talking about this guy.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion in the bank.
All right, so immediately following the midterm elections, Donald Trump comes out and says he's running for president in 2024.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
Of the United States of America, Donald.
Which, in all honesty, I like the guy, but I really don't think it's a good idea. It's only dividing the country even further. But he's going to do what he's going to do. If he's the best Republican candidate, I'm going to vote for him. But I really don't see how it's going to be a good thing. They're just going to continue to go after him, just like they've been doing ever since the first time when he became president in 2016.
For the first time ever anywhere,
They've been attacking and attacking and attacking him for no reason, really, except that he presents a threat to their power, and they can't have that. That's the only thing I can see, because all these attacks on him are BS. So then the Republicans in the midterm elections, they take the House, and they immediately come out and say that they're going to do this.
We are releasing a report today that details what we have uncovered. We are also sending letters to the Biden administration officials and Biden family associates renewing our request for voluntary production of documents relevant to this investigation. This is an investigation of Joe Biden, the President of the United States, and why he lied to the American people about his knowledge and participation in his family's international business schemes. National security interests require the committee conduct investigation, and we will pursue all avenues that have long been ignored.
I've spoke my mind about this. I don't think it's that good of an idea just to immediately go into investigations. I do think they need to happen, because if Joe Biden is guilty of
conspiracy or defrauding the United States, wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, violation of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, violations of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, violations of the Trafficking Victims Protection Act, tax evasion, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering,
what they're saying he's possibly guilty of, then that's bad. That's not very good for our country to have a president that's doing stuff like that. I mean, there's all kinds of allegations there. There's all kinds of implications on that as well.
The Biden family's business dealings implicate a wide range of criminality, from human trafficking to potential violations of the Constitution. In the 118th Congress, this committee will evaluate the status of Joe Biden's relationship with his family's foreign partners and whether he is a president who is compromised or swayed by foreign dollars and influence.
But once again, like I said, I really think we need to focus more on getting our economy straight before we do that. If the Republicans can do both efficiently at the same time, go for it. That's fine with me. If you can get this economy under control, get everything running smooth, hey, we're good to go with that. If you can investigate Joe Biden at the same time, more power to you. In all honesty, our politicians need to get together, because all this fighting back and forth is BS, right? So Trump announces he's running for president. The Republicans take the House back. They launch these investigations. All of a sudden, the Department of Justice does this.
Based on recent developments, including the former president's announcement that he is a candidate for president in the next election, and the sitting president's stated intention to be a candidate as well, I have concluded that it is in the public interest to appoint a special counsel.
Now, I could have swore that they spent the last 2 years investigating Trump in this January 6th stuff with this raid on Mar-a-Lago. It's bullshit. I mean, really, they're really going to do this. You know how bad that looks now. People have completely lost trust in the Department of Justice. It's clear to me, and I was being really optimistic thinking that some of this politicization wasn't really politicization. It was just the Republicans applying that politicization onto it. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. Politicization. I thought they were just being political themselves, making it look like they're being political. I was trying to play both sides, trying to look at it from all angles. And now with this, it's become clear to me that, yeah, I do think that they have been politicized by the left, and they do see Donald Trump as a threat, which is terrible.
Such an appointment underscores the department's commitment to both independence and accountability in particularly sensitive matters. The investigation into whether any person or entity unlawfully interfered with the transfer of power following the 2020 presidential election, or with the certification of the Electoral College vote held on or about January 6. The special counsel will also conduct the investigation involving classified documents and other presidential records, as well as the possible obstruction of that investigation.
I don't see how the guy is a threat. People in power are always afraid of losing that power, and that's what seems to be going on here. They have been investigating Trump since 2016, and the man's still free. He's not in jail. What else can there be for you to investigate that you haven't already done? At the very least, this looks bad for them, because if they've been investigating for 2 years and can't find anything, and he is really guilty of whatever they think he's guilty of, then y'all are doing a terrible job at investigating this guy. Come on. I mean, if you're gonna come up with something, find it. Find it now, stop wasting our time, and get it done.
Today, I signed an order appointing Jack Smith to serve as special counsel. The order authorizes him to continue the ongoing investigation into both of the matters that I have just described, and to prosecute any federal crimes that may arise from those investigations. Throughout his career, Jack Smith has built a reputation as an impartial and determined prosecutor who leads teams with energy and focus to follow the facts wherever they lead. As special counsel, he will exercise independent prosecutorial judgment to decide whether charges should be brought.
But I personally think that this is all just for show. This is all just to rile up the left and make sure that Donald Trump doesn't get voted in as president again. That's all this is about. They don't want him as president, so they're doing all this investigation. They're defaming the crap out of this guy. He's already got supporters like, I thought Trump was a great president, did a good job, would vote for him again, and they've gotten me questioning that for the sake of the country, because if he does become president again, it's only going to divide the country further. But if that's what it takes, then that's what we have to do. We got to break this left versus right bullshit. Something has got to give here. We can't keep going with this, because it's going to send us into a civil war, and it's going to break up the best country that's ever been on the planet Earth. That's what I think. We have one of the greatest nations ever. We've built up a bastion of freedom. It's being completely torn apart from the inside. It's not good at all to watch it as it's happening. Somehow we're going to have to get these two sides to come together. I don't know how that's going to happen, but somehow we got to come together and start working together again, because the way we're going right now, this ain't going to work. Something's got to give. We really need to do something. Republicans, we need to figure out some kind of way to bring us back together, because I go on to these leftist podcasts and I look at these videos and I read through the comments, and these people are calling us evil and retarded and stupid and everything under the sun, and we got to figure out some kind of way to get them to see that that's not the case. Looking at people from the right, looking through those comment sections of videos from podcasts and whatnot, it's the same thing. And we really need to stop this as a country, as a people. We got to come together, because it's not the people that need to be at each other's throats. Okay, we need to be fighting these countries that still have stuff like slavery and these authoritarian countries. We need to be focusing our outrage that way instead of within, but we're being ripped apart from the inside by ourselves. And I don't know how people can't see that. We need to come together. We have a lot more in common than what we think. We need to figure out some kind of way to come together. But that's all I got for this one. Thank y'all for watching, and let's stay positive. Peace.